I'm Dr. V, and I personally wanted to thank you on behalf of the whole Survey Society for being here with me today. Today, I'll get to ask you personal questions that will be recorded for statistical purposes. Of course, we won't give away your data. We have a very, very safe database where we'll stock them. I just have to ask you again for consent of treating your data. Very good. Yeah, we always have to ask that because it's important for us to know that everyone knows what's the purpose of our research, to feel safe during the interview and be able to answer all the questions with all the tranquility needed. Very good. Okay, so today we will just relax. I'll write on my laptop that it's here. You can't see it, but it's here. I'll ask you some very personal questions. If there is anything you would like to, you don't want to answer, you can just stay silent. I'll understand. You can stop the interview any moment. It's fine. It's totally in your rights. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, so first of all, can you please tell me your name? Surname? Date of birth? And the city where you were born? Okay. Do you still live there? Okay. Your zodiac sign? Yeah, nowadays is part of the anographic information. They're probably gonna introduce it on the ID. I'm not the one who makes the rules. Okay. Do you have any siblings, relatives? Okay. Alive, right? Great. And do they know you're here? Okay. What would they know if you were kidnapped? I'm just joking, just joking. Okay, and how did you find out about our research center? Okay. Now we can fully begin. What was the best compliment you have received? Okay. Very good. Who inspires you to be better? That's a very nice answer. And what gets you fired up? Okay. Oh my god, I get that so much. I know I'm not supposed to make comments, but that's something that gets basically everyone everyone fired up. What amazing thing did you do that no one was around to see? That's amazing, and I would have loved to be there. What are you interested in that most people haven't heard of? I love that. No, I get you. I mean, there are a lot of things you love, but people simply don't know anything about that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a safe space. You can talk about that for all the time that you may want. I'm paid to listen. So, what are some small things that make your day better? That's very nice. That's a lovely question. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. How do you relax after a hard day of work? Mhm. Okay. How different was your life 1 year ago? Wow, probably what 1 year ago it wasn't that different, but 2 years ago there was a difference. Okay. And what takes up too much of your time? And yes, you can be salty while answering. Mhm. Yeah, I'm sorry about these noises, but as you probably saw, there is a huge storm outside. Yeah, sometimes there is that tiny rain, which is so relaxing, but the storm, that one isn't that relaxing. Okay, so we were to the. Okay. Yeah, I hate lining at the post office. It's one of my worst nightmare. Okay, what's the biggest doubt you have? I know it's pretty personal. Again, I shouldn't express anything, but whoever bothers you, it will be fine. I have thousands of people coming here every day telling about this exact same problems, exact same doubts, and it's fine. Okay. What long shoot have you taken that really paid off? Okay. What movie can you watch over and over and never get tired of? Okay, I've seen it like 10 times, so I can feel that. And who are some people you only met once but they left a big impression on you. You don't have to tell me the name, or if you want, you can just describe them to me. Mm-hmm. What's the best bad decision you have ever made? Mm-hmm. Dang, that's bad. But as it turned out, good. I feel that in the end it was a good decision. Once I went to take an exam, which went horribly, probably because I hadn't studied enough, and that exact exam in which the teacher made me fail. I mean, I failed, of course, because I wasn't ready to do that exam, but he, of course, told me that I failed. And in that exact moment, I realized that that wasn't the thing I wanted to major in. So I changed it. And if I hadn't done a bad choice of going there, I would have never known. Maybe I would have majored in something I didn't like. So sometimes you have to go through bad decisions to get your happy ending. And then you have, what challenging thing are you working through these days? Mm-hmm. Very challenging. Indeed. And what was the most memorable gift you have received? That's very nice. Yeah, I can remember something similar. When I was young, there wasn't all this merchandising, and there was a local artisan that made bracelets inspired to Twilight. I was a huge Twilight lover when I was young, and it was a period in which there was e-commerce, but it wasn't really a thing as it is nowadays. There were people buying on the internet, but not everyone was buying on the internet. And my aunt surprised me and bought this bracelet that had a wolf and a heart made of crystal. It was inspired by the book, and I still, to the present day, remind it as the most memorable gift ever, because in that period I couldn't imagine of getting something from a book I loved. Now it's easier, of course, you can just Google it on Etsy and you would find it, but back in the days it wasn't. And when do you feel truly alive? No, that's very right. You don't have to do bungee jumping to feel alive. You can do everyday things that makes you feel good. If you didn't have to sleep, what would you do with the extra time? Okay. Yeah, I know. Sleeping it's nice. I wouldn't like not sleeping. What popular TV shows or movies do you refuse to watch? I do have a long list that starts with The Witcher. I simply hate that show and the games, but I hate the show the most. Mm-hmm. Relatable. I mean, the fact is that sometimes things get so popular that you just refuse them. It happens all the time. And what's the best way to start the day? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's enough. If you were a dictator of a small island nation, what crazy dictator stuff would you do? Who on earth does write these questions? Anyway, mm-hmm. Okay. You know, it's not that crazy. Just go on. Okay, now it gets a bit, but the first part it was played pretty doable. You know, what could you give a 40 minutes presentation on with absolutely no preparation? Yeah, everyone has that subject. Mine is Star Trek. What age do you wish you could permanently be? Again, very common choice. What was your best drop the mic moment? Do you say drop the mic or drop the mic? I'm sorry, I'm not British or American or English isn't my first language. You cannot tell me. Mm-hmm. And how old were you? Mm-hmm. That must have been memorable. Really? If a genie appeared to grant you one wish, what would you wish for? I get that. What three words best describe you? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What's one item on your bucket list? What would be your perfect weekend? Mm-hmm. I'd love that too. Mm-hmm. What's the best thing about your work? Don't say the coffee break. No, just kidding. That can be an answer. And last but not least, what would I'm sorry, I was reading again a question that you already asked. So, when you look at someone, a guy, a girl, whatever you like, what's the first thing you notice in a romantic, I don't know, attractive way? You can answer to both or neither what you notice in people when you see them. Well, that's a wrap. You've answered all the questions we had for you today. Would you like to sign up to our newsletter so that I can call you back if we had other surveys? Okay, bring it on. Okay. Well, it was a pleasure to interview you today. Yeah, I can say. Well, it was a pleasure to interview you today. Well, it was a pleasure to interview you today, and I wish you a very pleasant evening and a safe way